It's the start of our second season in charge of Monaco. We had a lot of transfers that happened last year, and we've had quite a few that have happened in this summer window. Today is a transfer special. We've spent nearly £200 million again. Yeah, we like spending money here in Monaco. Let's get into it and let's show you who we've signed and who we've sold. Yes, hello, welcome into Live Sports here for another episode of Glory Hunter on Football Manager 22 here with Monaco. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. And if you missed the last one, go and check out. It was the end of last season, the last league game. Let me give you a kind of idea of what we're going to be planning during this summer window. Today is a transfer special where we talk about all the stuff we've done during the summer window. Summer window's still open, but we don't actually have any money, so there's likely going to be no more deals happen. But yeah, we'll talk about what's happened in this summer window and how it maybe didn't quite go exactly as we were hoping, and perhaps we didn't quite get the signings and positions we were thinking we would, but we have certainly upgraded the team. You can see from the Dream 11 in front of you, 3 of our players appear on that. 8 of them are from PSG, and you can see the odds on the left-hand side. You are clearly second favourite. PSG still odds on to win. We are 15-2, and then it's 18-1. So there's a huge gap at the top between ourselves and third position, or expected third position, and then PSG are much better than us according to the bookmakers. If we look at what we've done during pre-season, we had a couple of big results and a couple of poor ones. We most recently played in the Trophée des Champions, the equivalent of the Community Shield, sort of Super Cup sort of thing against PSG. We did lose 2-1 in that one against PSG. It was a pretty close game. They're definitely going to be our toughest challenge. If we can win every game that's not PSG, we'll win the league. But as whether we can do that, we can afford to lose to PSG if we win everything else, because they will eventually drop points. But we are going to drop points at some point as well. So it's tricky. It's going to be a tricky one. Let's get into transfers, and we'll start with transfers out. Bentancur, I mentioned he might be on the way out, and indeed he has gone. Now 32 years of age, a Uruguayan central midfield player, is away to Chelsea. He was a backup for us. More than happy to sell him. He was a fairly decent servant to the club, but I say he became a backup player into his 30s. Try and get some money for him. We got £30 million for him from Chelsea, which I don't think is too bad for a 32-year-old central midfield player who's only going to decline in the next couple of years. Get our money's worth. And that's exactly what we've done there. He's only seen a 1-year contract at Chelsea. That shows you how confident they are in him being there, even though they've paid £30 million. So a good player, but getting a bit older. We're trying to refresh that midfield. We haven't actually had a huge number of us. There's only kind of 4 or 5 of any note, to be honest. The rest are all kind of young players on loan or away for frees and stuff like that. Noni Madueke here is away to Shakhtar Donetsk. £13 million they've paid for him. He ended up being a bit of a bit-part player. Sat in the reserves most of the season, not even getting on the bench. So we made some money off of him. He was a pretty decent player, but 27, he wasn't going to improve. And we've just got better players in those positions. So Madueke away for £13 million to Shakhtar. Another player who we ended up getting quite a lot of money for, and I think it probably isn't worth the £41 million we got for Simic here, but we sold him to Hertha Berlin. We were up front was our main problem last year, I'd say. There were some games we just didn't score enough goals, particularly games we drew in. We had 7 draws, which were 1-1 or 0-0. So getting an extra goal per game would have made all the difference there. Simic was our backup striker. We got £40 million from him. I feel that's a decent return. He was alright when he played for us. If you look at his history, he scored 5 goals in 18 Liga and games, a lot of them off the bench. Just nothing special, even though his stats might say he was alright. Just didn't feel that great when I was using him. So away he goes. And the last big out was Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We've sold the 31-year-old English right back to Newcastle United for £34 million. Played a lot of games for us last year, but we obviously brought in Bjarke Jensen to take over from him, and Jensen's 10 years younger. So away Wan-Bissaka goes. See, not many people are 20 tackling. He was a pretty decent player when he played for us. A good servant to the club, playing over 200 games for Monaco at his time here. But yeah, sold him to Newcastle. getting into his 30s, just refresh the team a bit. You can see a lot of the players have sold. A couple of them in their 30s, one in their late 20s, one in their mid 20s. The 20-year-olds maybe didn't want to sell, but certainly try to refresh, get rid of some of the older blood in the team. I mean, I have maybe brought in some players with some experience as well, but we've got rid of some of them for quite a lot of money. Now we can look at the ends, and the first one you probably already know about. Rodrigo, we signed him on loan last year from Real Madrid, and we paid the optional future fee of £45 million to bring him into the club. He was on £425,000 a week. We've changed that contract. He's now on £250,000. It's a lot more sensible. He's still, I think, the highest paid player at the club, even though he's probably not going to be a starter, which is perhaps not the best decision I've ever made. But he's a very good player to have in the squad. Can play either side or up front. Great to have there. Him and Pareto will fight for a position on the left-hand side. He's good. I'm glad to have him here. And even after this season, if we don't use him as much as we hope we're going to, you can see his value there. Playing for us, £70 million. If we could even recoup our money that we spent on him, that would be useful indeed. We did also bring in 2 free transfers. The first one, Abdou Diallo, signed for free from Real Sociedad. You can see he used to play for Monaco all the way back in the mid-2010s, and that's one of the reasons why I've signed him, because if you look at his eligibility, he trained at Monaco, so that helps for the homegrown player rule, especially in Europe, so he can add as one of our homegrown at the club. You can see, not brilliant, but solid enough as a kind of third or fourth centre-back option. Experienced, happy to sit on the bench probably, and just add to that homegrown quota. It didn't cost us anything either, so can't complain about that. And the other free transfer was Fabian here, the central and defensive midfield Spaniard. Spare, I was about to say. That's a mix of Spanish player. 33 years of age. Signed him for nothing. He was at Newcastle before that, Napoli before that. He was away at Betis. You can see he's been a fairly mainstay fixture, hasn't he? When you look at his career so far in Napoli and then Newcastle. We signed him for free, paying £120,000 a week, which is a lot for a rotation player, but he just adds that little bit of depth on the bench, basically replacing Bentancur. So I know he's a year older than Bentancur, but he's on similar wages, and we made £30 million on Bentancur and spent nothing on Fabian. So I feel as if that's a good swap, to be honest. Nice, well-rounded overall player in there. Looking forward to having him come off the bench for us. One player who you might see a lot of, you might not. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. He might end up going out on loan. I've not quite decided yet. Is Chinonso Mustafa, the 18-year-old Spanish centre-back. He's 6'5", brilliant physical stats, heading 16, marking 13, tackling 16, positioning 12. Good decision-making, good anticipation, good determination. He looks like he's going to be a very solid player. 6'5", I said, very tall as well. Currently 2.5-star built in. You can't really base everything on that, but he's got a great future ahead of him, I imagine. Just 18 years of age. If he even develops those a couple more, he's going to be absolutely brilliant. We only paid £6.5 million for him from Oviedo, where he played all of last season and the season before. He's going to be a pretty good talent. I thought, get him in 18, he could become a homegrown at the club player by the time he's 21. That's the idea. Anyway, I'm not sure if he'll still be here at Monaco when he turns 21, but maybe we will, and he'll add to that homegrown in the nation and the club quota. Could be a very exciting one for the future, maybe at some point this season as well. Another young Spanish centre-back we've signed is David Santamaria, the 17-year-old now. He's only just turned 17 this summer. Spaniard. He's on loan at Montpellier. We've sent him out to get some experience in Ligue 2. He's not doing too well in his first 2 games, but that might be because Montpellier aren't doing too good. I'm not sure. We paid £21 million for him from Osasuna, where he played all last season at centre-back in the second tier of Spanish football. Again, looks a nice, well-rounded player. Could develop very nicely indeed. He's only just turned 17, as I say. We'll see how he develops as in first-team football. I guess his value is quite high at this moment in time. Looking forward to see how he develops. You may not get to see him, but just thought I'd mention. £20 million he paid for him. I've had another couple of kind of weird small signings to try to add to the French quota. The first one is Mikel Boya here. He was at PSG. We signed him for £1.8 million after he went to Inter Milan. He's alright. He's not brilliant, but he'll add to the homegrown quota. And the same goes to Salifu Niasse. He won't add to the homegrown quota. I'm not quite sure why it is we've brought him in terms of adding to that. But I thought for £3 million he added to the squad. We were getting a bit short in the squad in terms of numbers. So I paid kind of a couple of £1 million for a couple of players to try and kind of to fill out the squad. That's what I was trying to say there, to try to fill out the squad. And we've paid 3.7 from PSG for this man here. I wondered why I knew the name, and it's because he came through the Villarreal Youth Academy. Never got a game for us when we were a Villarreal manager, but came through the Youth Academy there, and then he was sold to PSG, and we've signed him again. Again, looks all right. You know, nothing special. He's worth a little bit more than he was when we bought him, but just to add to the squad, just some depth. Probably won't play that much, but he'll add some depth to the team. 3 more signings to go, and then that's us for this transfer window. The first one is Cedric Willert here, the Belgian attacking midfielder / striker / centre mid / left winger. We don't play attacking midfielders, obviously, but he can cover in a lot of positions. And look at those stats. He's still improving here at 21 years of age. We've loaned him back to Club Brugge. That's where we bought him from. £27 million we paid for him. He looks a very well-rounded player. He could be very, very exciting indeed. We'll see how he gets on at Club Brugge. He'll come back next season. You never know, he could be an important part of the squad. We paid a lot of money for him and then sent him back out on loan. So this is one for the future. But he looks very, very solid. Look at that, good dribbling, nice physical stats. Still improving. Passing's brilliant, technique's brilliant. He looks like an ideal playmaker. If we put him into midfield, I can imagine him playing as an advanced playmaker in there. You know, him and Antonelli swapping positions, you know, taking over, taking turns at that role. He could be very good indeed. That's Cedric Willert. We've signed another one from Villarreal. I know, stop talking to me about it. We've signed Quinton. You remember Quinton? He played for us. We signed him for £1.5 million from Colombia. When we were there, he played 14, 21, 17 games, scored 8, 7 and 8 goals. Not too bad a return. Well, once we left, he only played 7 games and scored 1 goal, all of them coming off the bench. We've paid £20 million to bring him to be our striker off the bench here. I think he's a very, very solid player. Basically, Simic moved for £40 million, and we've brought in Quinton, who's 4 or 5 years younger and cost half as much. Looking forward to seeing how he gets on. He's already played some non-competitive matches for us, some friendlies, scored 3 goals in 3 friendlies, so hopefully he can develop. Him and Maronier, we had them both at Villarreal, and now we've got them both here at Monaco, and hopefully they can score lots of goals for us. And the final player is the biggest signing we made and possibly the best signing in my opinion. It's Felipe, the 22-year-old Spaniard, signed for £53 million from Atletico Madrid. Can play in central midfield or can cover at right back. Basically reminds me of a younger Llorente who we have in the squad still, but he's a lot better. Physically, absolutely brilliant. He's got good height as well at 6'3". Nice mental stats. Looking defensively, if I were to say play him at right back or something like that, his marking's okay, tackling's good as well, position is good. Could perhaps do with improving his heading for someone who's 6'3". Going forward, maybe not the best at crossing and stuff, but imagine him there in your central midfield role as well. He could be very, very useful in there. Passing's not brilliant, but more as a kind of breaking up the play. He could be good, a ball-winning midfielder, but also playing as that wing back, as that full back. Jensen and Felipe, the 2 options at right back. Now we've got rid of Wan-Bissaka. Feels as if he could be a good option in there as well. 6'3" gives a bit of height as well when we're swinging balls into the box for corners and things like that. So, yeah, Felipe is the big signing we made this summer. You can see we paid £50 million. He's already worth over 100 according to the game there. He looks like a good one. And this is what I think our best 11 is at this moment in time. I'm not sure for definite, but I think this is how we're going to start the season, and we'll see how it continues. As you know, have noticed, we didn't sign a goalkeeper. I didn't really see anyone that I wanted, certainly not for the price tag that was being offered. So we've kept Cobble in goal, and hopefully he can continue to be a solid goalkeeper. He set a record last season for the most clean sheets in Ligue 1, so it would feel weird to get rid of him. So we haven't. Darwin and Tuck are going to start in front of him. Felipe is going to start as a right back, but I mean we've got the options there for Jensen if we need to, and Christensen on the left. The midfield 3 is the same as last year. Thielmann, Tushmeni and Antonelli. And then further forward, Niang's playing instead of Salah. I mean, Niang is brilliant, so I look forward to seeing how well he does this season. Peretta starts on the left, and Maroni will lead the line. But you've got players like Quinton, Rodrigo and Salah on the bench. If we have to rotate, I feel as if the team doesn't drop in quality too much. We've got very good strength and depth. Basically a player in every position you can cover for one that's on the field. So I'm looking forward to that, and it's going to be very, very exciting indeed. If I look at the schedule, I think I'm just going to play a few games. I'm not going to show you the first league game of the season. I'm going to play a few, probably come back around the PSG game, because there'll probably be a Champions League game around that time as well. I'm not sure, exactly, but it'll be around about that PSG game. It might be the PSG game, it might not be, but I'll let you know if there's a decent Champions League game beforehand. Maybe we'll show you that one, but we'll come back. We'll try and come through a couple of months to advance this on a little bit, because the first bit of the season's a bit boring for us, especially when there's not a huge amount up for grabs for us. So if you have enjoyed this episode, I know it's a bit of a talky one, but we have talked through all the transfers that have come in and out. Hopefully you're looking forward to this new season with this new team. Very familiar. Most of the players are the same, but there's just a few new names in there. So hopefully it works. Hopefully it works well, and hopefully you enjoyed this season. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. It really does help us out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until the next one, which will probably be that PSG game at the end of September, we'll see you then.